What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. The website is Middle MAGA. My biggest takeaway from the Kerry Lake Katie Hobbs trial from day one, I'm still unpacking day one. And so far, since this clip that I'm going to show you here, nothing significant has happened, in my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on YouTube and Rumble and on middlemaga.com. So I am not giving any legal advice, but as a layperson, this is the only significant thing to me that's happened in the whole trial. Now, there's more significant things, but when you talk about her challenge, this is the only significant to me that the judge will look at, is what I mean. We've learned a lot of significant things that we can file away and learn for other processes here, for other states. But from the judge standpoint, I think this is the only thing that's going to resonate with him. This was the Perry Mason moment. And before I play the Perry Mason moment, I want to make sure that YouTube and any other overlord understands that the election has been certified. I don't care if she did it by gunpoint. She did not. She did it by threat of incarceration in a way with some counties. But she is Katie Hobbs is certified. So she is right now. She is going to be the next governor of Arizona. I'm not contesting that. I just find this trial interesting to talk about, and I don't think this is going to change that either. So I want to make sure that that's clear. I don't think this trial, because the judge wants intent, they don't have it. That's why they asked for intent. But let's look at the Perry Mason moment. Now we got all the disclaimers out the way. Katie Hobbs on trial. I want to make sure I say that properly. It's not the Kerry Lake trial. It's Kerry Lake v. Hobbs. But if you want to say who's on trial, it's Kerry Lake in Maricopa County. Heather Honey, who was under oath. That's a great name, by the way. Ms. Honey was under oath. She testified that about 292,000 ballots did not follow the legal chain of custody. This was that moment, dun, 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 from Perry Mason, Matlock, Law and Order, all your favorite lawyer-type shows. This was 12/21/22, just for the record. You know, it would be interesting if YouTube does like strike or take this video down. That would be kind of funny to me. Because I'm not claiming anything. Like, is the information that awkward? Is it that bad that you're like, ooh, I can't let anybody see it? You could always shadow ban like what Twitter did. You could always demonetize like you do. You could do like you did Jackson Hinkle, demonetize the whole channel. But when you have to pull a video for a strike when nothing happened, that's when you really show your true colors. That's when somebody really struck a nerve. That probably means it's, well, I'll stop there. Here's the Perry Mason moment.
How many ballots Maricopa County claim they received on election day that were not tabulated on?
I think that
it might be hard to hear, but this is the plaintiff, Kerry Lake's lawyer, asks Heather Honey.
How many ballots Maricopa County claim?
How many ballots did Maricopa County claim
they received on election day that were not tabulated?
That they received on election day that were not tabulated, weren't counted.
I think your question is how many Dropbox ballots did they report?
Yes.
Yeah. So
She wanted to narrow it down to the Dropbox.
Initially,
Now everybody's asking for this. Remember on election day, I was streaming Charlie Kirk. Everybody's looking at these numbers because we have to, you don't have to, but even the mainstream media, they're taking that numbers and extrapolating it to a larger group and saying, oh, this is how many ballots are outstanding. This is what percentage of them we expect to vote this way. And they make predictions, which, by the way, should end. That should be illegal to make any type of predictions, or they should count the vote. They should have it recorded how they're doing it. And then at 9 p.m., we've already counted it. Here's the winner.
And the morning after the election, they reported that there had been 275,000. I think that Stephen Richer said approximately 275,000 Dropbox ballots had been dropped off on election day.
Did that number change?
That number did change.
What's the number now?
I believe they ultimately said it was 292,000.
So they said initially the Dropbox, we have 275,000 plus I believe it is the exact quote from Stephen Richer. Then it changed to 292. So we're like, okay, it changed. It got bigger. Some people might have thought it would better for some person or not. That's not the point. The point is it changed. And okay, well, let's take a look at the chain of custody so we can make sure that we have a track and we can understand where these numbers are coming from.
That had been dropped off at drop boxes.
As you sit here today, how many of those ballots have legal chain of custody?
Based on the documents provided, none.
Your Honor, objection calls for conclusion.
Ma'am, if you can answer it, go ahead and answer it.
Yeah, so we reviewed all of the documents provided by Maricopa County in response to our requests, and the answer is that none of the documents that they created meet the requirements from the APM.
None of them from their election protocol manual. I forgot the exact acronym. So in her expert testimony, none of them followed the legal chain of command. Again, I'm not alleging anything or not. I'm just looking at the information. Because you know why? Because I don't feel like doing a Rumble video and then editing for YouTube. So your boy's being lazy. That's why that's happening. But take a look. I'm going to go into more depth. What happened here? Well, who is this? Heather Honey. God bless Miss Heather Honey. God bless you. This is a citizen. She's just a citizen like you and I. That's all she is. To show the courage, she's putting her, in my opinion, she's putting her life on the line to do this. And she was outstanding. Not just because I agree with her on this issue. I don't know her politics. On election integrity, we agree. The reason I say she was a great witness is because she was factual, unbiased, and under cross, didn't get frazzled at all. Unbelievable. She's an investigator, 30 years. This is the number one thing that happened on day one, period. Nothing bigger happened on day one than this. Nothing, not even close. As far as something that would resonate, in my opinion, with the judge. Over the last 2 years, she has increased, no surprise there, her focus on voting integrity and created this website, verityvote.us.
Can you please state your full name for the record?
Heather Honey.
What do you do, Ms. Honey, for a living?
I'm an investigator. I'm also an auditor. I do supply chain consulting as well.
How long have you engaged in that type of work?
Over 30 years. And I do corporate investigations. I do, as I mentioned, supply chain investigations, counter diversion, those sorts of things. And recently, over the course of the last about 2.5 years, our research has sort of expanded into, sort of the government accountability, transparency, and elections.
Can you
Yes, the
please?
government is nothing more than a corporation. That's all it is. So it fits. And we've seen intensity around the process that we use to choose people to represent us.